Stadium Golf Center is proud to present highlight coverage of the second round of the 2013 San Diego Skills Challenge. Sponsored by TaylorMade, makers of the #1 driver in golf. And now let's take a look at some of the highlights and recap the round of the Grade 8.
Match number 1 saw two seasoned veterans square off with number 2 seed Jim Minton taking on number 10 seed Pat Weischen. Pat jumped out to an early lead by splitting the poles with both of his shots from the front tee, while Jim was only able to score on his second shot. Struggling to score at the break the glass stage, Pat gave Jim an opportunity to move back in front, which he did with an impressive glass-shattering second shot for 85 points. Both players were held scoreless at the difficult flop the wall stage. After the first 3 stages, the match was close with Jim out in front by a score of 135 to Pat's 100. Pat opted to have Jim go first in the bump and run stage, and Jim seized the opportunity to put some major pressure on Pat with a 124-point shot, giving him a total of 259 points. Pat, overwhelmed by the pressure, hit one of his less memorable shots, barely scoring 10 points. With the match all but officially over, Jim stroked his putt from the front tee to a score of 74 points and a winning total of 333 points, making him the first player to stamp his ticket to the Final Four.
Match number 2 squared up number 3 seed Ryan DeGeary against young upstart number 11 seed Kyle Rector. Both players chose a conservative route for the driving stage, hitting both of their shots from the front tee. However, Kyle jumped to the lead going 2 for 2, while Ryan missed wide on his second shot. At the challenging break the glass stage, Ryan was shut out as Kyle upped his lead to 135 points by shattering the glass on his second attempt from the back tee. Ryan was able to inch a little closer with an impressive 85-point shot on his second attempt at the flop wall, while Kyle held steady with a 50-point second shot. Trailing in the match 185 to 135, Ryan chose to let Kyle go first in the bump and run stage. With a chance to put some real pressure on Ryan, Kyle hit a mediocre shot, scoring only 103 points. Seeing a little daylight, Ryan hit a clutch shot to within 6 inches of the cup for a score of 164. Now, trailing in the match 299 to 288, Kyle chose to use Ryan's strategy and have him go first in the final stage, knowing he only needed to beat Ryan's putt by just 6 inches. And with that putt, Ryan moved himself into the Final Four and one step closer to his day at the TaylorMade Kingdom.
Match number 3 had number 9 seed Bernard Cannon versus number 16 seed Joe Canales. With Joe missing both of his first attempts at stage 1, Bernard picked up an easy 100 points by using the front tee. Neither player broke the glass at stage 2. Now at stage 3, Bernard furthered his lead by flopping the wall on his first attempt, giving Bernard a 150-point lead going into the bump and run. Joe tried to mount a comeback by scoring 135 points at the bump and run, while Bernard only scored 110 points. Trailing in the match 260 to 135, Joe knew he had to make the putt to give himself any chance to win. His putt came up short, giving Bernard the win and a trip to the Final Four.
Match number 4 had fan favorite number 4 seed Danny Thogmartin against surprise round 1 winner number 12 seed Dan O'Rourke. Thogmartin jumped out front with 50 points on his first swing. Unfazed, Dan went back-to-back on his first 2 shots, scoring 100 points, while Danny missed on his second attempt. Stage 2 got the better of both players, with neither scoring any points. Moving into the Flop the Wall challenge, O'Rourke continued to struggle, laying goose eggs on both of his shots. Danny took the opportunity to tie the match with a 50-point effort on his second shot. All even after the first 3 stages, Danny T picked up 110 points at the bump and run stage, while Dan saw his effort bring in only 82 points. Now trailing in the match 210 to his 182, O'Rourke went against conventional match play wisdom and opted to have Danny putt first. With a chance to close out the match, Danny, a veteran of the Golden State Tour, hit an aggressive putt, blowing it by the hole and scoring only 72 points. The door was open for Dan O'Rourke to pull off the upset of the day, but he still needed to hit a pressure-packed putt to within 35 inches or less. The putt ended up just 8 inches from the cup, giving Dan the win and a ticket to the Final Four.